Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 1019, 100.5, 1450, WGNSSports.com and BigGTV.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Sir Pizza, whose 3 Murfreesboro locations offer a huge selection of mouthwatering pizzas, sandwiches, pastas, and wings. Order your favorite pizza online at sirpizzatn.com. Danny Brewer back with you. I'm feeling mightier than a magnolia tree right now because Matt Kriesky, the mastermind of Blackman football, the undefeated Blackman football. I can say that, can I, Coach?
You can. We got to take it one game at a time, and now I told the kids after the game, all week I preached to them, how are we gonna handle success? We had a huge win the week before. Are we gonna have a letdown this week? Nolensville was a really good football team, a gritty football team, and so all we talked about all week was being 1-0, on Friday, and I thought the kids handled it well. I'll be honest with you. Wednesday, we did not have a great practice, probably one of the worst practices we've had this season. So we had to do some things different to kind of refocus them. But once it adjusted, I think we finished the practice well. We had a great Thursday practice, and they came out ready to play last night, and it showed. And, we got to keep getting better each week. After 4 games, we cannot be satisfied being 4-0. We got to want to keep continue getting better each week.
Coach, it's really a simple approach, but sometimes simple is good. Go be 1-0 this week.
Yes, and again, I know all coaches on here probably say you got to focus on the little things. You got to get better. Our special team unit had a blocked field goal. We scooped and scored it. Jaden Lark for 80 yards, and that was huge. Anytime you can score on special teams is huge. We've had 2 blocked punts, now a blocked field goal. Coach Holman and Coach Gregory do a great job with our special teams, and so it's huge. We put a huge emphasis on special teams, with our kicker Tyler Bombozen, who does a great job, and we're very fortunate. His father's the men's and women's soccer coach at Blackman, so he's able to help us. He was a college kicker, so he's able to help us out with some of our special team stuff too. So that's huge. We were talking about winning all 3 phases of the game. And I think, last night we had 3 interceptions on defense. One of them returned for a touchdown. So that's huge. Feel like we won that phase in the game also. And the defense helped out the offense. Gave us a short field all night long. So, we were able to move the ball and wasn't really put in bad positions during the game. So very, very fortunate of that. I believe we had Javion I think around 135 yards passing, and also a rushing touchdown. Micah Nance and Jabari both had a great night running the football. So it was a good complete game. Thing I told them before the game, I would like for us to start out fast. 35-0 at halftime. I feel like we haven't done that since I've been at Blackman, and I was pleased with how we came out with our energy and intensity last night.
Well, sometimes a good racehorse gets out of the gate, So the 42-7 was the final, and you scored on offense, on defense, and on special teams touchdowns. Man, like you said, you got to be pleased with that overall effort.
Yes. Like I said, all 3 phases of the game are very important, and when you score in all 3 phases of the game, it's hard to lose. And I was very proud of the kids last night of how they did and how they handled themselves throughout the game. And I told them I've been in a situation where we were up 35-0 at halftime, and we went into overtime. And so I said I don't want to see that. I don't want to see us. The game's not over. So we went out there offensively. We got the ball at halftime. We drove down and scored. So I was pleased with that. So we were up 42-0, and then we were kind of we kind of be able to cruise. Kind of just cruise and let the clock run and get out of there with being healthy and being able to move on to the next week.
So Jaden Lark, you mentioned him. He had 2 interceptions. One, he was a pick 6 for 30, returned 35 yards, and he's the one who returned the field goal, the block field goal, 80 yards for a touchdown. Let's talk about that block field goal and what kind of a momentum swing that, because it looks like you're going to give up points, and then bam, instead of giving up 3, you're getting 6. Yeah. How about that?
That was huge. Emory came off the edge, laid out, blocked it. And I tell you, one of the most impressive things, we've not really worked on it. We have had with our punt unit, a punt return, but we set up a wall. Those linemen, Nacho and then those guys set up a wall. Lark, as soon as he scooped it, he didn't know which way to run, and then he found all the coaches were yelling. I mean, they set up a perfect wall on our sideline, and we were able to run down it. And I give credit to the kids. That they were smart enough to do that, and they were able to do that. We got, when Nacho's running down the field, he's almost if you know Nacho, he's 6'3", 6'4". He's a big offensive line, plays some defensive line for us, but he was running as fast as he could, just as excited as Jaden when Jaden scored that touchdown. And those are things you like to see, is other kids celebrating those types of things, and that's what we're starting to get to. It's just we're starting to realize, like, we're a team, and it really doesn't matter who's scoring the touchdown or who's making the big play, as long as we're doing things good to help the team. And I think that's what I saw last night. That's what I was most impressed with. Javion threw a touchdown pass to Brylan. Brylan's a huge target for us, a huge body, a great receiver for us. But I saw him celebrating other guys. I saw Brylan celebrating other guys' touchdowns more than whenever he scored a touchdown. Those things that I like to see, and those things that as a team you want to become better at, because a lot of days with social media and everything else, we get caught up with the individual stuff, and then sometimes the team aspect kind of escapes a little bit, but not really seeing it with these guys right now. And so I was really impressed with that and how everything was handled last night. And so it was fun. It was a fun game to be in. And like I said earlier, I have not been in a type of game like that since I've been here at Blackman. So it was exciting to be a part of.
So I want to circle back real quickly on the block field goal just one last time. All about effort. From what you're telling me, kids lay out, scoop, all about effort and team effort.
Yeah, it's all, like you said, it's all about the team, and that's the thing. Started with Emory laying out. Then the second point of emphasis, the line made a wall. All right, and then third, Jaden finds the wall and then runs it 80 yards, and then somebody like Nacho celebrate. And so that right there was just my coaches and everybody gets on to me, and they say I don't smile enough, but that put a smile on my face, and I was really, really proud of that at that moment.
So, Coach, let's talk a little bit about, you mentioned that you haven't had a game like this since you've been at Blackman, because Nolensville's a pretty good football program.
Yes, they had an outstanding quarterback. He was really impressive. He can throw the ball, he can run the ball. It was tough to defend. Their offensive staff did an excellent job preparing for us. And so they have a receiver who's really good. Their running back, hard-nosed runner. I mean, they're, like I told them last night, they're going to finish first or second in their league this year. And so it was a good challenge for us. And so really impressed with them and their team. They're well coached. Coach Stidham does an outstanding job. So it was a good test for us.
So let's talk a little bit about your version of the Blackman way. You had a great game last night. The week before, a huge win for you guys against one of your big rivals. Let's talk about your version of the Blackman way and instituting it, because they've had a pretty proud football program there for quite some time now. Since Philip Chadone took over and started building things in the Blackman way, but your version of it. Tell me a little bit about it.
Just hard workers. We're gonna come to work each and every single day, no matter what the situation is. And anytime that we're faced with adversity, we're gonna know how to handle it, and we're gonna do it the right way. And that's the way, I want this program to be recognized as doing things the right way, not when things are good, but at all times. And that's what we try to enforce, and that's what we try to do. When we come out on Friday night, if we say that we're wearing white tights with our uniform, everybody better have on white tights. We're going to look the same. There's not one person that's going to be bigger than our program. We're all going to be the same. And so our jersey says Blackman. It doesn't say anything individually, and so that's how we're going to do things. We're going to do it the Blackman way, because we're the Blackman community, and that's what we want to be recognized is winning the right way, doing things the right way at all times.
Chopping wood and toting water, right, Coach?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what's coming up. You go. Is Laverne home or away this week?
Laverne is home.
Laverne is home. Yep. So you host Laverne. The importance of keeping the momentum going, like I just mentioned, huge win last week, great game last night. keep the momentum going, the pressure that you face there?
Yeah, we got to keep offensively. We got to do keep being balanced. You know, if you look at our stats offensively, we I think we have 526 yards passing for the year, and we have 546 yards rushing for the year. So that tells we're a pretty balanced team. And when you prepare for us, you've got to prepare not just for the run game, but you got to prepare for the run and the pass. So we got to keep getting better in those areas. Defensively, you know, we got to keep doing what we're doing, flying the football, creating turnovers, and not having any missed tackles. They've been doing a great job defensively, and special teams. We got to continue to get better and create, make a difference in the special teams game, because that's huge, and not overlook any opponent this year, because every opponent in our league is well coached and going to be prepared each and every Friday night.
The special teams, I just want to touch on that one more time. You've had 2 block punts and a block field goal this year. Those are always huge momentum plays.
They are, and it can change the outcome of a game. And I think, like you mentioned, once we had that block field goal, it kind of took a little energy out of Nolensville, because they felt like they were going to get 3 points, and then it turned in our favor where we got 7.
Coach Matt Kriesky, we certainly appreciate your time. Wish you the best luck. If you want to see some good football, because, man, you guys are rolling, get over there to Blackman this week when they host Laverne at the Inferno.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on.
Yes, sir. Happy to do it. Coach Matt Kriesky. The Coaches Show is brought to you by State Farm agents Andy Womack, Dana Womack, Celeste Middleton, Alex Williams, Ron Reeves, and Emerson Williams. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.